channel. Welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day. This is actually future Sarah stepping in to do the intro today because I had originally recorded this intro the night after I finished my What I Eat in a Day video, and after a very long day of work, it was very obvious that the last brain cell I had was barely getting by, so I'm re-recording it now, basically just jumping on to say that the day started off in the morning, obviously, with breakfast. My boyfriend's actually been working the night shift, so he was home. So the first half of this video will be voice recorded so I can tell you what all is going on, but I will be popping back in for dinner to get into all of that. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy. I filmed like one other What I Eat in a Day recently, and it was on a day that I was working from home. So I thought I would do one where I'm not working from home because my days tend to look a little bit differently when I'm working in the office, which is a terribly long train ride away from my home in Brooklyn. I have to commute into Manhattan to get to work. So I thought I would take you along with me and show you what I eat. And I guess that's really all I have to say. It's a Sunday afternoon, and clearly I still just have one brain cell that's working overtime. So let's just get right into it, shall we? We'll start with some breakfast. Alright, so let's kick this day off with some morning coffee, because I can't think of a better way to get up, and in fact might be the only reason I wake up most mornings. So if you know me or you've been around, you know I love me some coffee. Most mornings, if I'm just making coffee for myself, I'm going to be using my pour over and whatever coffee I have on hand to grind up that day, because I did buy us I guess it's not bougie, I was going to say bougie, but a coffee grinder, and it's just been a total game changer, and it just makes the process so fun, and it's a cute little way to wake up in the morning. So highly recommend making a routine out of your preferred morning beverage if that's your thing. So this week I've been using this Khalifa, I'm not really sure how this is pronounced, but I've been using their pumpkin spice creamer. And, I really enjoyed it at first, but the more that I drink it and speaking to you now, I probably won't buy this again. I think it was just missing a hint of sweetness, but otherwise it definitely captured the pumpkin flavor if you're a pumpkin spice girly and are on the lookout for one. This was not the worst that I've had by any means, but there are better ones out there. So after I had my coffee on this day, I actually don't remember what I did, but I most likely sat down for probably at least like 30 to 60 minutes, read a book, watched some YouTube, did some planning for the day. One of the above is normally what happens, and then I will begin to make my breakfast. And for breakfast today, it's nothing new here. When it comes to breakfast, I'm a creature of habit. It's most likely either going to be a smoothie and a hash brown or some avocado toast. So today I was making some avocado toast with my homemade sourdough. I'm not sure if I've ever shown exactly how I like to prepare my avocado toast, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. Maybe this is something you're interested in. But I essentially toast a piece of sourdough. I use half of an avocado. I top that with some everything bagel seasoning and then top it with more feta than the average person would probably put on top of anything, but definitely avocado toast. But I'm telling you, something about feta recently has just been giving me life. So I put on a lot of feta, and that's just how it is. So by the time I finished making my breakfast, I was getting probably a little too close for comfort to the time that I had to leave for work. So I had to kind of rush and begin packing my lunch so I could head out and get to the subway. So this will just be a little preview of what lunch is. Come lunchtime, I will go over all the things that I brought with me today. Maybe this is like so lame of me, but I've really been like romanticizing the mornings that I have to go into the office, and something about like buying myself a cute little lunchbox and my cute little purple ice packs and packing my cute little snacks and my cute little prepared meals. It's just, I don't know, a positive thing that I enjoy doing in the mornings and makes it all a little more worth it. All while taking bites of my avocado toast whenever I can. I think after I stopped filming, I just like shoved the whole thing in my mouth and called it a day and ran out the door. And you know what? It just be like that sometimes. So as soon as I get into the office, that's when I get my water ready. I've been really bad at getting my water intake. I've been doing a lot better, but generally speaking, I was really bad at it. So on the days that I go to the office to encourage me to drink more water, because I always just like lock into my computer and forget. I've been bringing some liquid IV with me, so this is me preparing my water as soon as I get into work. And then since I start my day so late, I had lunch at around 2:30 and I got my cute little lunchbox out of the fridge. And for lunch today, I actually kept it pretty simple, just some things I picked up from at Trader Joe's this week. Sometimes I'll have like prepared meals that I bought like this. Other times it will be like pre-planned meal prepped things that I made. Today I decided to have this lemon basil pasta salad, which I have had before, and it's actually pretty good. So I didn't show myself eating the yogurt or the mandarins because I didn't think that would be that exciting. That Honey Crisp apple cinnamon yogurt, whatever it was actually so good. That's also from Trader Joe's. I've been on a weird yogurt kick recently. 2 years ago, you would not like catch me anywhere near yogurt. Like I really had to be in the mood for it, but now it's been a really convenient snack. And then later in the day, I'm not sure what time this was. This may actually have been like while I was about to leave for work around 7 to get on the train. I recently bought these little Count Chocula mini treats, just something nostalgic and silly. And just like that, we are back home for dinner. I shouldn't say it just like that because the journey to get from my office to my apartment is a long one. But I only need to be on site 2 days per week, and this is day 2 of 2, so for that I'm grateful. As you can see, I have my dinner here, which is still very hot, but looking absolutely delicious. So let me tell you about it before I dive in and burn my tongue, because that's inevitably what I'd end up doing. But this is a vegetarian shepherd's pie. I will make sure to link the recipe down below if you'd like to try it out. It's just one of those random ones I found on Pinterest a handful of years ago now, and I keep returning to. It's so good, but it's also so easy, and it's not even a vegetarian recipe, but it's very easy to make vegetarian, and I love recipes like that. So in here we have veggie-wise some peas, some carrots, some celery, onions. For the ground beef, I normally use Beyond or Impossible, sometimes Gardein, whatever I have. I didn't have any of those this time, and all that I could find at Trader Joe's was the Trader Joe's brand of ground beef crumbles. It's just like their textured soy protein, I think, which I never tried before, so I figured, why not? I did taste test it when I was prepping it last night, so I'm pretty sure it's good. I'm not expecting anything to go poorly here, but just noting that I have tested this recipe now with like 4 different fake meats, and so far they've all turned out really well, at least look-wise and taste-wise. I'm pretty sure that is also the case. And this is where things can get controversial, because on top of the shepherd's pie, as you can see, is mashed potatoes. And from someone whose whole social media presence used to be called Potato Princess, you think I would have a lot more respect on the potato name and not use powdered instant potatoes for my mashed potatoes for this, but listen. You cannot sit here and tell me that the fake powdered packaged potatoes aren't damn delicious, because they are. And if you say otherwise, you are a liar. Don't get me wrong, I love making homemade mashed potatoes, especially around like Thanksgiving and the holidays. Like, I love me a good homemade mashed potato. But when I'm trying to meal prep something, I want it to be quick, I want it to be easy, and also tasty, I know I can rely on an instant potato, and that's just how it is. Like, I grew up eating instant mashed potatoes. This is just what my family grew up eating, so it's also comforting in a way, you know what I mean? So then on top of that, you just sprinkle some cheddar cheese, you put it in the oven. So what I also love about this recipe is that it's very easy to do ahead of time, and even regardless of whether you do it ahead of time or you do it the same day, it takes like no time at all. So I actually made this last night after work, so I wouldn't have to worry about it today. All I did was cook the meat and the veggies in the broth, let that simmer, made the mashed potatoes, put it all into the little dish, and put it in the fridge. And then when I got home from work at like 8:30, because the trains were delayed, I instantly just turned on my oven, let that heat up, sprinkled some cheddar cheese on top, and let it sit there and simmer and broil for about 20 minutes. And now here we are. So easy. And it also is gonna make so many servings. So this will be my like lunch and dinner for the next few days, which I'm not mad about. All right, I think it's safe enough to eat. Look, I don't make the rules, but that's so damn good. And it's like the perfect fall, maybe not fall. This is shepherd's pie is probably a winter recipe, but something about the spice combination, the thyme, the rosemary, carrots, the celery, the onion. It's almost giving like stuffing vibes, but not stuffing. And it's just a very like warm, herby meal. And it's just perfect for the fall weather that we've finally been having in New York City. So I'm gonna go about the rest of my evening, finish eating this, and if you're wondering if I'm gonna sit here and keep eating this in bed, yeah, I am. Look, I know you shouldn't be eating in bed. There's so many reasons not to do it. It's not a good habit. It may not be hygienic depending on what you're eating and who you're talking to, your perspective on that. You wanna eat at the table, whatever. If I wasn't eating here, I'd be eating on the couch in front of the TV, and I feel like this is pretty much the same thing. Sitting in my bed with YouTube up on my iPad, just vibing. And I don't do this all the time because I do feel like it is a bad habit because I did used to eat my bed a lot growing up and then like in early adulthood, and I intentionally tried to break that habit, which though, now that I'm thinking about it, especially like early adult, I was just like hiding from roommates, and yeah, anyway, we'll unpack that later. But it's not like I'm sitting here eating a really crumbly, messy like sandwich, you know what I mean? This is gonna produce little filth. Watch me fully just like accidentally dump this whole thing all over myself in the bed. And if you watch my last apartment tour video, you know that I am not in the business of trying to glorify or glamorize my apartment or my life or myself. It just be like that sometimes. Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment down below and tell me what your favorite dish or meal is to prep ahead of time. If you have any good tips and tricks, I would love to know, because as a girly who works late nights and works somewhere very far away from her apartment, I'm all about a nice easy meal prep to dinner or lunch or breakfast. Honestly, give me all your recommendations. I'd love to hear them. If you haven't been here before, I make all sorts of, we'll categorize it as lifestyle videos. What I eat in a day is a small portion of that. This is my second one in a very long time. Otherwise, I'd be doing plan with me's, bake with me's, and other random stuff like that. But if you're into the food stuff, meal planning, what I eat in a days, I am fully game to make more because they're easy and they're fun. And I get to talk about food. Who doesn't love that? All right, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.